The topic of radiation exposure has always been a concern, and rightfully so. You know, nobody wants extra radiation. We all know that's a bad thing. But the beauty of what we do in dentistry, and especially with digital X-rays, which we do at Explorer Kids Dental, is the radiation is so small, especially compared to how dental X-rays used to be, the old film style. The digital X-rays that we use are up to 90% less radiation than the old film style. So it's quite a bit less. And to give you a better idea and some facts on like what does that actually mean, so compared to an average daily exposure to radiation, meaning you're just living your life, the sun's out, okay, you're doing normal things, taking our typical checkup set of X-rays, what we do in the office, amounts to about one average daily exposure to radiation around you, just normal everyday life. So by comparison, it's really not much. What can we think of in comparison to that? If you go to the airport with the security scanners, that's about 80 times the amount of a daily exposure. So quite a bit more, something that people are more familiar with, the security scanner. And then also thinking about in the medical field, if you had like pneumonia or you had to go to the hospital, you need a chest x-ray, that is about 10 times the amount of a daily exposure for just that single x-ray film. Versus once again, our normal checkup set is only 1 day's average exposure. Technological advantage of using digital x-rays versus the traditional film. We can use the x-ray software to manipulate and inspect different parts of the images where we normally couldn't, where you're just before with film relying on your eyesight or maybe glasses or a magnifier if you needed to, where this we can use the digital technology and the software to enhance the x-ray, to magnify certain spots, even using contrast and colors to see things more accurately. So with those tools, it creates a lot of confidence in diagnosis and really helps. The topic of does my child actually need x-rays and how often is a great question. And how to answer that is first that our office uses the principle ALARA. That stands for as low as reasonably allowed. Okay, so what do we mean by that? We're not going to take endless x-rays if it's not needed. Okay, we are really trying to keep in mind that every exposure counts. Every time that we take an x-ray, it's going to expose your child to radiation. Although they're very small amounts, once again, because we use pure digital x-rays, we're still mindful of that. And we want to make sure that we are successful in taking the x-ray. And we have lots of tricks in able to get x-rays on kids, because you can imagine it can be challenging. But we do keep that in mind. We try to keep it to as few as possible while still getting good diagnostic information. Once we're using our digital x-rays, they use sensors. A sensor is just the small device that actually goes into your mouth. And the worst it feels is it feels bulky and it feels foreign to the kid. So we get that. We don't think it's the most comfortable thing in the world. But you'd be surprised at how many kids actually can do and tolerate it. And I'm blown away weekly for sure, sometimes daily, how these little kids, even 3 and 4-year-old kids, can take a bite wing x-ray. That's the one where you chomp down on both top and bottom teeth to get the x-ray of top and bottom at the same time, where their parents even have a difficult time doing it. So it's quite impressive that kids can do more than you think they're capable of most times. And the beauty of these sensors is they have rounded corners, okay, versus the old film, and even there's an intermediate form called phosphor plates. They have kind of sharp and pokey edges, and thankfully it's not the case with these sensors. They may feel a little bulky, but they're not sharp and pokey. And even for the kids who can't tolerate biting on it themselves, we have multiple assistants who are amazing, and we have little devices that we can hold it in there for them with their mouth open. They don't even have to bite on it, and we can take an x-ray. It works great. What am I actually looking for in your kids' x-rays? Because we take x-rays all the time, right? I would say I actually thought about this. A conservative estimate of how many x-rays have I viewed in my career so far is about 50,000. So pretty good number. So I'm pretty good at reviewing them and knowing what I'm looking for. A happy and good x-ray is an x-ray where the tooth and also the roots, they look normal. There's no dark spots. It's really the dark spots in the dental x-ray that are not good. Okay, so that's what my eyes are trained to look for. Are there any abnormal dark spots that I'm seeing? Whether it's on the tooth, in between the teeth, on the roots or in between the roots. Usually dark means pathology. It's a cavity, it could be an infection or just an abnormality. Typically it's the dark spots that we don't want to see and that my eyes are trained and always scanning for. So the tooth and the roots are a highly dense material. They're highly mineralized. And so when the radiation passes through, let's do the little thing. I'll use my phone. Here's the sensor, okay? Here's the tooth, and then the x-ray is coming through. I'm sorry, I gotta do it this way. So tooth, sensor, x-ray energy, okay? So as the x-ray energy passes through the tooth, if it's dense, it's gonna be blocked, and a blocked energy will show up white on the sensor, okay? If it passes through and hits, it'll turn it dark, okay? So the less dense, the darker it'll be.